I'm Nathaniel Wakefield, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining how I made $88,621 in a single day. I'm going to be giving everything away, the frameworks, the creative used, everything that you need to know if you want to hit these crazy days with your clothing brand. So let's just jump right into the Mario board, and I'm going to show you guys how it's done. As you guys can see here from the screenshot from Shopify, we hit $88,621 on October 25th with 587 orders. And obviously I'm going to show you guys like the ads manager screenshots as well. Just so you know, October 25th, we spent $8,000 on Meta at 6.51x ROAS. And then on TikTok, we spent $5,000 on October 25th at 6.53x ROAS, which is kind of insane in a single day for ads. And then just to show you guys everything, the triple whale right here shows $89,000 in revenue on that same October 25th. And as you can see, the numbers match with the ad spend on Meta and TikTok. So you guys know I'm not lying. So let me jump into, okay, how did we do this? What was our approach? So the first step was really, we closed our site around 2 to 3 days before, just to build up some anticipation. So people were like, oh, what are they cooking behind the password? Like, how can I get in? People are trying passwords to try to get in the site. And we had a ton of people visiting our site even while it was closed. And that just meant a ton of people could sign up for our SMS list and our email list. So then as soon as we opened the site, we blasted out an email to everyone, and we had a ton of people just buying straight away as soon as we opened up. This site closing method has been around for a while, just to build some hype around your drop. And then we also had warm-up ads running. So we had ads running before getting people to the site, just so they could come back whenever the site actually opens up. And that just keeps warming up the pixel. People who are interested, people who really want to sign up for the SMS list. We can then retarget them later once the site's open, or if they already have the notification from when the SMS campaign goes out, then they'll just be able to sign up right there anyways. And we had budget scheduling already ready. So many issues that I see people making when they have a big drop is that they'll set the budget for like $1,000 or whatever they're trying to hit. If we put our budget initially to $600 a day, $6,000 a day, it wouldn't have went well. But we set it on around $1,000 a day budget. So that way, after this main period, the first 3 days of the drop, we could just remove the advanced budget scheduling, which will just bring it down to $1,000 a day without messing up the whole algorithm, sending it back into the learning phase. Now, the next thing we did, I'll break down kind of how we went about the meta ad side of things. So first up, we had a CBO and cost cap campaigns, right? So we had our main CBO, which was ads we had already tested, and then we had a ton of new CBOs a ton of new creatives that we tested for this new drop, and we put those in a separate campaign. Now, every single ad that we're running, we also run it in a cost cap. So a cost cap is essentially you're telling Meta the maximum that you want to spend to acquire a customer, and then it bids in the auction accordingly, and it only bids if it thinks it can achieve a customer within that price range that you set. So it's really good for at scale. You can set the budgets like $100,000 a day. Most likely will spend probably less than $1,000. Really depends on what you set the cost cap as. But yeah, I found this to be really effective in my meta ad campaigns. And we just went broad audiences. This is not 2022 anymore. You don't need hashtags. You don't need a ton of like really detailed targeting. You can just go broad and you let the creative do the work, especially even when it comes to the funnel, top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content. You don't really need to segment your campaign in a different way anymore. You just kind of let the content segment itself, if that makes sense. So you just have content in your CBO that hits the top, middle, and bottom of funnel, and it will do so accordingly without you having to manually show that content to the specific person in that part of the funnel, if that makes sense. We had 20 plus creatives per campaign. We're just pumping it out as much as we can. All we need is volume, right? If we're putting it all in a CBO, only the top ads are going to get spent anyways. So we're okay wasting a couple dollars here and there on some trash ads, and then we take that, we learn. So then later on, when we make more creatives, we're going to look at, okay, what performed in the CBO? Because if something, let's say you have 50 ads in a CBO campaign, the top spenders there, obviously those are your winning ads, right? Especially if they're not just top spenders, but if they have a decent ROAS as well. So you want to know, okay, what about this ad did well? You can make variations, make small changes, change the copy, and then you can start building. And basically, the more winners you get, the better you'll be able to become, because you can just keep on testing more and more, and you know what is an ad that your target customer wants to see. And then final thing, budget scheduling. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It stops your ads from going back into the learning phase. It's huge. If you really want to start scaling up to these crazy days, you can go from $200 a day budget all the way up to like 2,000 with budget scheduling without going back into the learning phase. So basically you schedule it just for a short period of time. I'll probably do a video on how I set up my campaigns, but look into budget scheduling. I would definitely recommend it. Now, when it comes to TikTok ads, we just did Smart Plus campaigns. As many creatives as possible. We're pumping out around 5 to 10 creatives every single day. It doesn't have to be completely unique, just different. We can use the same clips, but just in a different format with a different sound, with different text. And we're just pumping out as many as we could. Same with photos. We're just pumping out a ton of slideshows. We put it all in Smart Plus campaign. Basically the same as a CBO. The only ones that are going to get spent are ones that are good ads, the ones that are performing well. So we don't mind setting the budget to like $2,000 a day per campaign because it's only going to be the main ads that are going to be performing well are the ones that are going to get spent, right? So then we're able to turn off even ads within that campaign that aren't performing well just to kind of scrape up any money that's being wasted on these lower tier ads. Yeah, so Smart Plus campaign, that's automated targeting. You don't need to really do anything. We had a couple retargeting campaigns. I forgot to say we also did have some retargeting for Meta as well. It works really well. I think we had around a 10x ROAS on our retargeting campaign with like $1,500 spend just on the day, which is insane. But yeah, we use the same creatives as well from TikTok and Meta. So we had the same things on both platforms. Apart from the posters, we didn't really do those too much on TikTok just because it doesn't seem organic. But all the content on TikTok that we had, we also ran that on Meta ads too. We just focus on really strong hooks and scroll stoppers. That's all we need, right? If we can get people to stop on an ad, that's perfect. So now I'm going to break down creatives. What kind of creatives were we using? What kind of creatives should you guys be using if you really want to scale on ads heavily? So the first thing is UGC. I don't really need to talk too much about UGC content. I feel like everyone knows what it is. User generated content. So that's someone who is either a customer or someone you've hired to make content for you as if they're a customer or just trying out your product, something that looks natural. This stuff does really well on TikTok and does really well on Meta ads as well, especially review videos. We've put tens of thousands of dollars of spend behind review videos because they really do perform right now. People like to see authenticity. And if they know that someone else has experienced the product, even if they've been paid to do so, as long as you make it so they can't tell it's a paid collab, they tend to do really well. The next thing is flat lays. I think everyone knows what flat lays are. Just simple like this, just showing the products on the ground. You can do it individually. You can do something more creative like this, have them all laid out. Just a simple flat lay of the product. I feel like it's fairly simple. Then we have posters. So when it comes to posters, really just simple stuff like this. We're showing maybe on ground where we put some text. We show when the sale's ending. We show maybe something about shipping, something about pricing, maybe someone else in the product. There's so many different things you can do with posters. I'm going to make a full video on what type of posters you should be running for your brand as well. But yeah, then we have founder content and product backstory. So basically as the founder or whoever is on the team, they're making content like as if they made the product and why they made the product, you know, the story behind it. Or it could even just be the story behind the brand overall. People really like seeing that. Again, authenticity, something that really goes a long way right now when everyone's super, I don't know, the market we're in, it seems that people really value authenticity. Then we have creative shoot. So here's an example of a creative shoot. Like this shoot is insane, just in the sand. I don't even know what they're selling here. It could be the full fit. I have no clue. All I know is it looks sick, and this is the type of content that does really well on TikTok as well. If you do behind the scenes of the shoot, if you went somewhere crazy, or just showing. If you do a film, you do like oh bro, what is this guy doing on like the Snapchat text, and then cutting to the actual film. That stuff does really well too. And then obviously we have product focus. So that's just a really detailed shot of whatever product you are selling. It could be in a studio, something more creative, whatever it is, just showing the details on the product, showing the quality. And yeah, that's kind of everything. You can create like a ton of different variations of all these. You don't just need one. Again, I would recommend testing. I would put in in a CBO, I put like maybe 5 ad sets. Within each ad set, I have like 50 ads. So we're really pushing the limit with how many ads we can have. I think on most accounts, you typically can have around 300 creatives, but some you can have up to like 500, even 1,000 if you start spending a lot. So, and you can also increase your creative threshold too. So I would definitely recommend that and just continue testing as much as you can. But something to note also, you don't need to create a completely new concept. All you have to do is just recycle something that's already viral, change it by 2 to 3%. Obviously, add your own product in there. But that's all you have to do. Just test as many as you can every single day, as many hooks And when it comes to video content, trial reels is the perfect thing right now. You can post trial reels on Instagram. So essentially it gets shown to a new audience, so not your followers, and you just get feedback on what's working in the market. You can test a ton of hooks and you'll see which performs the best, what gets likes, what doesn't. And it's just a game changer when it comes to content right now. And then anything that does really well, you can actually choose to show it on your profile too. So if it starts going viral on trial reels, then you can just let it show on your profile as well. And people will not know, because I think a lot of people don't want to post content on their Instagram because they're like, I don't want to get any, what if I don't get any views, will look bad on the page? Well, if you don't get views, you don't have to show it on the profile with trial reels. So I think that's amazing. And this is why it works. So we have cross-platform synergy, right? We're testing content across TikTok and Meta. So we're getting a ton of more data that we can use and then test in the future. As I said, we have daily creative testing. We're testing 30 creatives a week minimum. We're pumping out 5 a day static. If we can, 5 a day videos. We're doing as much as we can. We're shooting all the time. And that's how we're able to get crazy volume and hit numbers like this, $88,000 in a day, right? We're doing broad targeting. The creative is the targeting now. You don't need some crazy guru in the ads manager. You need someone who knows what they're doing, yes, but the creative really does most of the work. And we just did automation. We just let TikTok and Meta with their CBO and Smart Plus campaigns kind of do everything. And as long as we continue, we make sure we have different content for each part of the funnel, and we make sure we have the right content, that's really all that matters. And just making sure we're giving that pixel enough data, keep on testing, and that's all you got to do, honestly. I promise you, hitting days like this, $88,000 in a single day is not that hard. Putting up crazy spend like this with high ROAS, it can be done as long as you have a good strategy. So yeah, I'm going to make another video soon breaking down like a bit more of the creative strategy, what goes into making the ads themselves, kind of what you should look out for. But I promise you guys, building a brand in 2026 is going to be so easy. Just put in the work, study the trends, learn how to make content, learn how to make good creatives, and it will take you a long way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.